Hey everybody, it's me, Mabel Mirage, back at again with another Beyblade unboxing video. Today, I got a huge load of my Beyblade X shipment. See, I pre-ordered every single X-Bay through August. Or not through August, sorry, through September actually, including the entire Shark Edge random booster. And right here in front of me is the new Beyblade X Stadium. I just unboxed this off camera because I doubted anybody wants to watch me assemble this. So, for the beginning of this video, I'm just going to do a test launch with the 4 X-Bays that I got to begin with. So for my first bay, I'll be using the red Knight Shield from the triple set. 3, 2, 1, shoot! Whoa! This is awesome! Wow. I'm liking this already. Okay, I'm gonna do the green Wizard Arrow versus the yellow Hellscythe. 3, 2, 1, shoot! 3, 2, 1, shoot! Oh, had a little bit of rail action. Wizard Arrow. Toppling. And a spin finish. Alright. Honestly, I love the way this stadium works. Though I will do more on this later. But right now, I have like 5 Beyblade X-Bays and the launcher grip to review and open. So I'll save some more of this for later. So let me just set that to the side and show you everything that's shown up so far. I have bx-01 Dran Sword, bx-02 Hellscythe. I already reviewed bx-03, so here is bx-04 Knight Shield. Next, I have 05 Wizard Arrow. I have bx-06 Knight Shield. And last but certainly not least, bx-11 Launcher Grip. So yeah, I have all this to review. And this is going to be one of my biggest videos in a long time, in all honesty. And I'm going to battle so much and open so much. Yeah, this is just going to be amazing, honestly. And I have heard news that later today, my shipment of the Start Dash set and the 3 deck case should be here later. So I might be getting more videos out on that later as well. Now I figure, let's start off in numerical order with bx-01 Dran Sword. Just slide all the others to the side for right now. So yeah, here it is. The main attack bay, Dran Sword 360 flat, which is also my first copy of the flat bit, and the 360 ratchet. And really, this is just my first copy of all of Dran Sword, really. Because they didn't do any recolors or anything. They just did the Start Dash set and the original. So this is probably why it's so sought after and so expensive, is because they did very little ways to get it for cheap other than this right here. Well anyways, the owner of Dran Sword is, well, this guy right here. I don't remember his name, but I remember his alter ego is like X-Cross or Common X or something like that. I don't remember entirely. Basically, he's like this version, like this anime's version of Shu Kurenai, if that makes any sense. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's do this, yeah. Honestly, I keep forgetting to bring my pocket knife to these videos, so you're just gonna have to watch me struggle with tape for a few seconds here. Or, oh, I forgot my other pocket knives got moved for a second. I originally had like 3 in my room that I could have used, but my room's been getting cleaned, and those other 2 are nowhere to be found currently. So time to just use these big fingers of mine and rip through the tape if I can, and try to cause as minimal damage to the box as possible. But in all honesty, I'm just after the bays more than anything. There we go. Tape is getting off. Now I gotta do the tape at the bottom here, because I learned from last time with Wizard Arrow that they have 2 sections of tape, because they just hate anybody without scissors or knives, apparently. So, yes. Alright, we're in. And here it is. Oh god, there's another layer. Ah. Okay, move the packaging here to the side, because I don't want you taking my QR code for when my Beylogger arrives. Or Battle Pass, I mean. I keep calling it a Beylogger due to burst. It's gonna take me a minute to get used to a lot of these things. That's for sure. Oh, crud. Accidentally knocked over my camera trying to get through this packaging here. Gosh dang. Almost got everything. Almost. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need all of these washers, because right now I only have one in my possession, as you could see earlier. Alright, let's start this off with the main event, Drawn Sword, or Drawn Sword, depending on who you are. I prefer Drawn Sword, just to make it easy to differentiate between Drawnzer, since that had a remake. Yeah, look at this flat bit. This looks like it is going to have very good burst resistance, not to mention an intense speed in the X Stadium. So yeah, very excited for this. Then, what's arguably the best ratchet in Beyblade X right now, 360. 3 points of contact, and the lowest possible height you can get right now. Perfect for just about any stamina, attack, or even defense combo right now, just due to those attributes. And lastly, but definitely not leastly, never gonna say it that way again, I hope, Drawn Sword. A 3-winged all-metal attack bay, similar to that of Valkyrie in shape, but with a really cool dragon breathing fire for its avatar. Very pretty and very fast, I'm sure. Honestly, I love the blues on this, and the design just looks like a monster of a bay. So now, let's get to assembling this beast. Okay. Oh yeah, this is very tight on the resistance. Yeah, this bay is a monster. Short, attack-oriented, and quicker than any Beyblade X release there is right now. At least any that's official, that's for sure. Don't get me started on people who 3D printed rubber flat bits. Here's our standard Beyblade X winder launcher. And now, let's get this ripcord out. I hate these people who pack it this way. Alright. So now, let me just move all the garbage out of the way here. There's going to be a lot of garbage I'll have to take care of. Move this box over. And now, let's test launch Drawn Sword in the new X Stadium. Alright, this isn't the best view because my tripod is not very tall, sadly. So I'm trying my best. 3, 2, 1. Fast. This thing is quick. Yeah, there's no denying this thing is a beast right now. Yeah. Alright. Now let's battle it against the original Wizard Arrow from BX-03. I'm going to move the stadium a bit closer to me just so I can have an easier time launching. 3, 2, 1, go, shoot! And a ring out finish. Not an extreme finish, but a ring out, that's for sure. Wow. Man, this bay is brutal. Alright, let's do one more round and then move on to BX-02. Oh, mind you, these are regular launches. These aren't even like... Oh, and an extreme dash. Not a very good one, but... Oh, Drawn Sword's running out of stamina. Oh, and a spin finish for Wizard Arrow. Alright, alright. One more match, and that's it. Because now it's 1-1, basically. I'm not using official rules, I'm just win to loss. It was 1 point for everything right now. 320. Alright. Go. Shoot! Oh, it was almost an extreme finish. Oh, big hit. Oh, and it's another spin finish. Wizard Arrow takes the win. Alright. Overall, I think Drawn Sword is in a very, very fun bay to use. Just so fun. Wizard Arrow really beefy on its defense, it appears. Alright. Next. BX-0... Oh, no, wrong box. BX-02 Hell Scythe. This has 460 taper, 4 points of contact, 6 millimeters tall, the shorter end, and the taper bit, one of the better ones for a bit more defense, or for a bit more stamina for your aggressive bay. And this bay is owned by Kazami Bird, our new main character of the series. Honestly, really throwing everything we knew about the beginning of Beyblade on its head. Because at the beginning of every series, we've had an attack type main character. And then for this, we have a balance type. I mean, that's kind of new for us. Kind of strange. Not to mention, there's a lot new about this that's really turning Beyblade on its head. That's just one of the many things. Like the fact that the bays have 2 names for the beginning. Like, for the beginning of every series, they had 1 name. Like, for the single layer Beyblade Burst, we just had Valkyrie, and then there was Victory Valkyrie, you know? Then there's 2 names. Or the pre-hybrid for Metal Fight, that was just Pegasus. It was just El Drago, not Storm Pegasus or Lightning El Drago. And even for Beyblade Plastic Gen, I'm pretty sure they just had like 1 name, and it was pretty basic. So the fact they're starting us out with 2 names, even though they are attached to each other, it's just kind of strange. But it's really cool, and I'm just loving everything about what's new here. I mean, they're trying to turn it into a sport. They're making it faster. They're making it more aggressive. They're changing the way we think of meta Beyblading now. Normally, your stamina bay, you want it to stay in the middle of a stadium for as much as possible to avoid getting hit. But now the stadium center is the dangerous zone. Like, it's just the most danger of possible against an aggressive bay. So now you want your stamina bay to circle around and try and not get hit. It's truly flipped what we know about stamina on its head. Not to mention defense being turned into counterattacks is incredible. And the way that we use attack types is completely different, because normally you'd want your bay to angle and swoop around. Now you want to do a flat and hard launch as best as you can in order to get as much extreme dashes as possible, unless you're trying to preserve stamina and go for that barrage like we're used to. There's just so much new strategy to this. How you launch, what you're using, where you launch. There's just a lot going on in Beyblade X, and I'm loving it so much. Alright. Wait, which end did I even start open? I just realized they shaped... Oh no, is this? Yeah, this is the side I started. I got confused on how to open this. Yeah, that's fine. I did previously unbox the yellow Hell Scythe, which has some pretty good parts, 380 ball. Really good. I'd say it's one of the strongest stock combos there is right now. And this right here is easily one of the more fun stock combos there is right now. That and, of course, Drawn Sword. Also, very excited for the fact that Hasbro's no longer in the picture for Beyblade, as I'm sure many, many fans are right now. Because let's be real, Hasbro's really been on the decline as of recently. I just peeled the tape. not working out well. And yeah, I am starting out with all of the starters right now, and then I'll make my way towards the boosters. Man, I have really got to be more careful with how I position my camera if I'm just going to keep knocking it over like this. Oh, that was just bad positioning. There we go. There's just this little bit that won't... there we go. Man. Here. And I'm in. Now for this annoying tape. Move the pamphlet aside. And here is Hell Scythe 460 taper. Honestly, kind of surprised we didn't get booster releases of all 4 bays, just for Wizard Arrow and Knight Shield. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are great, but I mean, wouldn't it have been cool if we got, like, you know, something, like a red Grand Sword? That would be so sought after. I mean, seriously, we got red Knight Shield, we got blue Knight Shield, we got yellow Wizard Arrow, green Wizard Arrow, red Wizard Arrow. Oh yeah, we got red Knight Shield, green and blue. And then we just get two Hell Scythe, 1 yellow, 1 red, kinda, yeah. And then we get 1 Grand Sword essentially, or 2, but both are blues. Kind of disappointing we didn't get more of those, but they're probably just saving that for like a BX-01 release or something, in all honesty. Still a little disappointed. Oh wow, this is a beautiful bay, holy crap. Yeah, I gotta get this out now. And then of course I'll do a test launch, and battle. Wow, I love this look, holy crap. So much better looking than the yellow one. Okay, now I kind of understand why we get like 2 colors for that bay. Because man, does that red just, wow. And here is 460 in a beautiful maroon and white coloring. And lastly, the taper bit. Which is known for having pretty good burst resistance. Especially in my experience using it with the red Knight Shield. Oh my gosh, this is not opening. There we go. Now let us, not lettuce. Maybe I'm just hungry. Now let's, oh, there we go. Nice. So this is our new main character bay, Hell Scythe 460 taper. This is a very pretty bay, and I am very much a new big fan of this. Honestly, this is getting me so hyped to start battling everything. And just bring a bunch of my friends over and start Beyblade X battling, like non-stop. Oh, and I am definitely going to need to order a bunch of those grips. Definitely. Alright, now I'm just going to open the ripcord. There we go, opened. And now, let's test launch in the X Stadium. Move the box over to the side for my display. And get this battle, or launch started. 3, 2, 1, go, shoot! Well, it did an extreme dash, went out the side pocket, and then fell out of the stadium entirely. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go, shoot! Okay. Extreme dash. Oh, now it's doing a bit of a flower pattern. Very pretty. I love the way this looks while it's spinning. Very nice, very nice. Also, I noticed Hell's Scythe has really high recoil when it hits bays, but only if it hits in these little indents on the four corners. So when it hits there, it just hits like a truck, I've noticed. Especially when on taper bit. Because I did give it taper in my testings off camera with the mismatching the triple set. Alright, now let's move on to a battle. Now, it wouldn't be nice if I did this without battling Dran Sword. I mean, let's come on here. We just know this has got to be how it is. Okay. 3, 2, 1, shoot. I messed up my launch, and Dran Sword bursted in the pocket. Man. Okay, let's reassemble Dran's. Oh, what the? Wait a minute. Oh, for a sec, Dran's Sword felt like it had weak burst resistance and it threw me off for a sec there. Let's try that match again. 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Shoot. Ooh, big hit. And Hell's Scythe wins with a spin finish. Man, that was a brutal battle. Alright, now I'm going to switch the launch order for Hell's Scythe to go first, and then launch Dran Sword, just to make it more fair. Because let's be real, it wouldn't be a real showcase if I just gave it the advantage every battle. 3, 2, 1, shoot! And it self-KO'd. I feel like that's going to be a big problem for a lot of this until I get used to the aggressive base. 3, 2, 1, go shoot. Oh, and an extreme dash. And it just knocked down Hell's Scythe. Yeah, I'd say these two are an equal matchup, just because of how they both kind of come close to each other. So definitely going to need to try battling this with somebody else to launch the other, just so they can be at the same power level, because otherwise it's going to have the same results as I keep switching them back and forth, I can tell. Oh wow. Let me move the garbage out of here. Now let's move the stadium and get right on to bx-04. Oh, bx-04. Night Shield. Gosh. 380 needle. A good substitute to 360, especially since most tournaments won't allow you to repeat parts, so that's a good option. Not to mention, Night Shield actually is really good on the ball bit. Like, it can take a beating on ball. So, yeah. So this is our defense bay for this. The Night Shield starter. 380 needle, a more counterattack based bay, and the other bay belonging to Niniro Multi in her cool theme outfit. So this is kind of when she's taking things more serious or something. Not entirely sure. It's pretty much to my knowledge. She started taking things a bit more serious when she switches to this bay. Honestly, just really cool bay design. I like that it kind of resembles that of like Gravity Perseus, I think is the bay I'm thinking of. I'm not sure if that's the right name, but I'm pretty sure it's Gravity Perseus I'm thinking of here. Honestly, it seems like a pretty solid release. Hang on, I got an idea. Trying to use the ripcord to get through the tape. That's not working, as expected. Oh, man. Every time I try to open a bay, I knock over my camera. Beyblade has given me a new hatred for tape. And you can quote me on that too. Alright, move the box over to the pile of others, and let's get right into Night Shield 380 Needle. Move the paper to the side. Got the ripcord out. Launcher. And now the bay. Okay, let's just get this garbage up and out of here. Yeah, the funny thing is, when I actually first got this package, I was expecting it to be my Start Dash set and the 3-on-3 deck box carrier thing. But I didn't realize when I opened it that I'd be welcomed to all this greatness instead. But since that said it would be arriving today, that means I have not only that, but all of this to open as soon as that shows up later, which is great. Alright, here it is. Is this upside down? Which way is correct? Ah, there we go. Right way up. Night Shield. Very pretty in this green emeraldy color. I like this shape very much. A lot better looking than the red one in my opinion. And now, let's get right into the rest of it. Currently opening the ratchet. Here is 380 with this kind of tealish green color. And lastly, the needle bit, which is in green. And all I can think of every time I see the needle bit is that weird audio clip where it says green needle or brainstorm, depending on what you hear. So I always just keep hearing or thinking green needle every time I see this bit. And it's really stupid that it's stuck in my head. But also really humorous in my opinion. So yeah, let's assemble this bay. Now it should probably have pretty weak burst resistance just because of the needle bit. Yeah, as expected, a bit weak, but very nice and very cool looking. I like the green. Alright, now let's open the winder launcher. Maybe annoying at first, or well, not at first, but later on when we keep getting these basic winder launchers. But right now, getting as many as possible is going to be very important if you want to battle with your friends. So really, I'm not complaining yet on these. Alright, now, let's test launch. I know it's not going to be very fast or anything, but hopefully it'll look cool. 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot! Alright, there it is. That does look pretty cool. Now, of course, I have to do the one battle everybody wants to see. Dran's sword against it. So let's see which bay is better, defense or attack. 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot! 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot! Instant one-hit burst. One-hit burst from Dran's sword. Wow. That wasted no time at all. Alright, let me reassemble this. Try that again. I'm sure that was just a fluke, that it was just instant death. Alright, let's try that one more time. 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot! 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, and an extreme dash, but it tanked the hit. It's taking all of these hits. Oh, it's unstable. And it's a spin finish. Nice. Alright, this bay does have solid defense, I'll admit. Alright, let's try one more battle, and then move on to the boosters and the grip. And then finish it all off with a crap ton of battling. 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot! I'm gonna do Hell Scythe. Whoa! Extreme Dash Self KO. I hate trying to reach into this pocket. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? Okay. Wow. 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot! Shoot! Wow. Oh, ain't I hit it the ratchet. Hell Scythe going berserk. But it's a battle of stamina now, it feels like. It's gonna be close. And a spin finish for Night Shield, I'm pretty sure. Wow. I am loving every single matchup right now there is. Okay, I'm gonna do one match against Wizard Arrow, and then move on. So I'm gonna launch Wizard Arrow first, just because it has more stamina. So, 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot! Go. Shoot! Oh, nice shield with the extreme dash. Man, even the stamina battles are just so intense. Ooh, big hit. Oh, Night Shield's going down. Yep, a spin finish for Wizard Arrow. To be expected, though. Stamina versus defense. Stamina is mostly gonna win. Alright, okay, now, let me, move the stadium and just get straight into opening the other bays. And since I've already reviewed the other bays, sort of, you know, because, just recolors, basically, I'm just gonna review how they look, mostly. And if they feel any heavier or anything to the original, like tighter or anything. Honestly, it will probably vary between molds, because like an A4 mold might be heavier than like an A1 or something. Just examples, I don't know for certain. But for the most part, they should be fairly similar, and if you get lucky, you might get a mold that's slightly tighter than a different color. So yeah, this is Wizard Arrow 480 Ball, the booster, not the starter, meaning there's no launcher and it's in different colors. We got it in red. We got this weird like Cheeto orange with maroon red colored ratchet, and a slightly different shade of yellow for the ball driver, or bit. Ball bit, not driver. So yeah, let's get into this. Then lastly, I'll just open the grip and try it out. Man, I hate scraping through tape with no knife. Rather, I hate I didn't bring my knife. That's a better way to look at this. Hit the camera, of course. Yeah, this is definitely one of my longer videos, that's for sure. Already over half an hour of just me opening, battling, and reviewing bays. There we go. Move the paper. There we go. Garbage out of the way. Box, move over, and the bay. Time to review. Ooh, I like that red. That red looks pretty sick. but the rest of the parts look kind of strange, I will admit. Alright, here is Wizard Arrow. Beautiful red color scheme with these like blue eyes to it. Very pretty. I love this look. Very solid recolor. Not to mention, much easier to get a hold of than the original in yellow, since it's not the anime or manga colors. Here we have the 480 ratchet. A bit strange looking in color, but definitely not bad. Honestly, one of the lesser used ratchets, I'm sure, just due to the fact that it's the taller height and 4-bladed. Probably won't see it as often in tournament use in the 3-deck format, but I'm sure as we get more bays, it might become more used in, say, that of 5G, if we get a version of that for Beyblade X tournament rules. Alright, here we go. Burst resistance, mediocre, weak as can be, you know, regular. But overall, it doesn't look bad. I'm not a big fan of how they kind of blended all these random colors together to make this thing, but the layer blade is pretty cool, I'd say. I like the color on that. So if you just want a really cool Wizard Arrow that has the parts for a cheaper price, then yeah, I'd say this is a pretty solid release, just because the layer, I keep saying the layer, sorry. So used to burst. Yeah, just because the blade is a really cool color, and you do get the exact same parts, just more color to them. So yeah, I'd totally recommend that if you're looking for just a different coloring. Here's the original, by the way. Yeah, I'd gotta say I like the look of the red one better than the yellow. You could probably just move these parts over to that if you so choose to want it to look a little bit more flashy. That's if you're even getting both, which I highly doubt anyone would really need to. I just did it because I collect, and well, there was a big pre-order available. Yeah, I literally did like a huge Beyblade Premiere pre-order of like BX-1 through 12, excluding 11, and then I just went back and pre-ordered BX-11 on its own. And then as they announced Dronzer Spiral, I pre-ordered that. And as they announced Nightlands, pre-ordered that too. And then as soon as Beyblade Premiere made pre-orders available for BX-14 Shark Edge, I pre-ordered the entire random booster. Because, man, do I think we needed more shark bays. I'm a huge fan of sharks. And I cannot wait for another purple Beyblade. So really, those are just 2 birds, 1 stone. Or in this case, 2 sharks, 1 stone, if you will. I don't know. My wording is not the smartest. Alright, here we have Night Shield 380 Needle in a teal color. I kind of like the teal. Not bad. I like the sky blue mixed with the dark blue here. This is definitely a better recolor bay compared to that of Wizard Arrow. Honestly, I like this color palette already. The blue is already a great color for a bay. And so is purple, but we get so little purple bays throughout the series, let alone in recolors either. Seriously, we had like 1 good purple bay that everybody wants from Metal Fight, and that was Jade Jupiter. And that bay is a fortune right now. I've been looking at it pre-owned to try and get a hold of. $250 pre-owned. Oh, and in the box is over 400. Yeah. So that's definitely gonna take a little while before I get a hold of one of those, that's for sure. Yeah. And I also have been looking at Screw Fox as well, just because I like foxes. Those are another one of my favorite animals. Not to mention the screw layer is going to be really funny if I put it on my Duo Uranus for tournament usage. Just because, you know, screw Uranus on bright rubber flat is surprisingly meta, not to mention hilariously named. Okay, wow, I like this already. Alrighty. So yeah, teal needle, 380. I really like the 380 coloring. I really like the blue on Night Shield here. Honestly, reminds me of that of like candy, the way it's colored. Now, obviously, do not eat your Beyblades. That should be common sense, but I've seen really stupid people online. Alright, and here's needle. Teal needle, not green. Very cool looking. Now, let's assemble this behemoth. Okay. Alright, there we go, fully assembled. Night Shield 380 needle. I like the look, very clean, very nice. Now, that is every single Beyblade X-Bay that I've gotten in this order. And now, let's move on to the launcher grip, BX-01. Now, there is a lot of little sections that have holes and clips on here. That's just so they can leave it open for, you know, adding on to it later for attachments like rubber attachments, or even little things like how we had the angle compasses or the weight dampeners, things like those, or even the power trigger thing that costs way too much money in burst. So yeah, things like those are what these little sections are going to be for, most likely. I'm mostly excited for is when we get recolors of the grip, and when we get grip rubbers for these, because those are really cool. Oh, and the speed grip from Burst is easily one of my favorite grips they ever made. And I got real lucky that I got it in that Achilles set before it shot up in value, because that set really just went so high. There's no reason it should be worth like $50 to $100 for that set. Alright, here's the grip, BX-01, and I'm pretty sure I heard this splits off into segments. Yep, this indeed does split off. So yeah, this comes off of here. Yeah, it attaches like that here as a little extra section. And of course it can just like snap off and be put on the other side, I'm pretty sure. Yep, that's right. So that way if you want to set it on the other side of your launcher, you know, in case you're left-handed or not. Or you can just remove it entirely and have a much lighter... Actually, this is more comfortable without that. Not bad. That might be how I use it. Oh, and the way this attaches to launchers is so much simpler now, because they have a little lever on the bottom, I believe. Yeah, a little lever here that pulls it back to clip to your launcher. So now, all you gotta do is just pull this back, put that on, and then let it go back, and there you go. Now you have your launcher grip. And of course, you can always just do the same thing on the other side. So now, if you're lefty, as you can notice, much less power from my launch, left-handed. Because my left hand is not very good for that. Not very good for launching. But for other things, yeah. It's mainly because I practice with my right hand for all my launching. I mean, let's be real. What is the real purpose of a left-handed launch unless you're a lefty? So yeah, I'm gonna leave this grip attached to this random winder launcher and try out some battles with all of these new bays. So yeah, I guess for my first match, I'll be doing Red Wizard Arrow versus the, oh no, not that, Dran Sword. There we go. I was about to put it against Hell Scythe and Red, but you wouldn't be able to tell who's who very well until the battle's over. That's not very exciting when you don't know who you're voting for to win. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Okay, let me get that ripcord back in. 2, 1, go shoot! And extreme dash from both bays. Big hits from Drain Sword. And a burst finish. Nice. Alrighty. Very quick and fun battle. Reassembling Wizard Arrow here. Let's do one more. Or we'll do some more, I should say, so we can determine a winner, because these are first to 4 points now. And if you don't know the new rules, the 2 regular pockets are 2 points. The big pocket here is 3 for an extreme finish. A burst is 2 points, and a spin finish is 1. And the first to 4 points is the winner. And that is the new rules for Beyblade X. So now, sorry, trying to get comfortable again. Legs falling asleep when you sit for this long. 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot! And go. Shoot! Big hits from Drain Sword. Oh, this is gonna be a close match. Actually, I think Drain Sword's losing. Yep. Spin finish for Wizard Arrow. So now the score is 1-2. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. And go. Oh, I hurt my hand. Oh, big hits. Wow. Oh, Drain Sword is in the middle. This is not a good spot for it. Yeah, I hit my hand on my dresser. You can already see a bruise starting to form. Man. And a spin finish. Now it is 2-2. I just put a little too much oomph into that launch. I'm gonna go back to not using the grip for now, just because that's more of what I've been used to. And is a lot less likely to hit my hand on things. So 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa! Went over the stadium. And 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, extreme dash. Big hit. Oh, and an extreme dash straight into a ring out. That's 4 points. Drain Sword wins with a score of 4-2, thanks to an awesome extreme dash knockout. Wow, holy crap. Alright, let's do blue Night Shield versus the red one on 480 taper, I'm pretty sure it was. 480. I can't tell. Yep. Oh no. Yeah, it's 480. 480, sorry. Threw me off. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Oh, and an extreme dash. Big hits. Shield versus shield. Offense versus defense. And offense appears to have just won this match almost. Yep, spin finish. Red Night Shield wins. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, an extreme dash. Oh, let's start that over. Just so it doesn't waste all its stamina at the beginning of the match. Shoot! Oh, and it's evading. Taking the hits. Sure. But will its defense be enough to outspin? And it's a spin finish. Wow. I've honestly lost the scoring now. Alright, yellow Wizard Arrow versus red Hell Scythe. 3, 2, 1, shoot! And 3, 2, 1, shoot! Oh, and a self KO from Hell Scythe. Let's try that match again. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! And 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Again, straight into the pocket without even hitting it. There we go. Man, Scythe does not want to battle. That's certain. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! And 3, 2, 1, go shoot! And first finish. Alright, Scythe was just warming itself up, it appears. Alright. Just trying to grab the cards out of here. Wow. Alright. I think that's enough for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. And stay tuned for my next unboxing. Bye-bye.